live. We are live. Timer is set.
Nope, it's blinking.
Oh, it's blinking. What's this?
It's a brand new feature.
All right. Yeah, it's a new update that came out last night. All right.
Cheers.
Cheers. I'm not an old-fashioned guy, but this is really good.
Yeah, it's that maple syrup. It's different, right?
It's yeah, it just seems like a higher quality.
Right.
You know, seems like a higher quality. All right. Philotimo number 11, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Topic of the day, which is something you wanted to go with.
Yes, sir.
An idea that you've been playing with for a while,
Mm-hmm.
and been wanting to make a episode on it for a while. And for whatever reason we hadn't.
Yeah.
But now we're taking a stab at it. I think you were saying that something happened to you today that kind of gave you like a new realization of it.
Yeah, totally.
To a degree. So yeah, and that topic is being present.
Yes, sir.
So I guess what now you were saying for the last year, that's kind of been your main focal point.
That's been the theme of my life in the past year. Yep. So, being present, what does that mean, right? The way I look at it, there are 3 potential states of time that we can focus on in life. Past, present, future. Each of them has their own value to them, but I feel that most of us get locked in one of those states that's not really beneficial for us. If we kind of just break them down in chunks, we're looking at the past. There's pros and cons with the past. Benefit of the past would be nostalgia, which for a while I thought was actually not necessarily a positive thing. I thought it kind of held you down. But after a little bit of research, watched some people break down their study on nostalgia, it actually has a beneficial response to you now. It gives you gratitude, a sense of gratitude for something that's taken place in the past. When you're thinking of something positive in the past that you're reminiscing on, it brings you joy, right? It has a sense of joy to it. It may have a sense of sadness that you're not there or whatever, but it's all surrounded and wrapped in this good energy of good feeling of I'm nostalgic about X, Y, Z, whatever that is, right? The negative part about the past would be your resentments, your regrets, things that are holding you down, right? So if you're looking at the past and you're only seeing negative things, what you're having happen is just the sense of guilt or shame or some negativity that holds on to you that you can't let go of. And it's really easy to be stuck in that, to get consumed by that which has happened, and stuck in the concept of, oh, I should have done this, I could have done that, I'm a bad person for not having blah, blah, blah. Or maybe a scenario happened where somebody wronged you and you're like, oh, those people are awful, or whatever it is, oh, you're just stuck in that negative spot, right? It's not, I'm grateful for having done blah, blah, blah. It's something horrible has happened. I've done something bad. Somebody's done something bad to me. Oh, I wish I would have done this thing, or I didn't take that opportunity, or I failed here, whatever it is, right? That's the negativity of the past that holds you down. The future, being the other one that is not present, there's a positive and a negative, right? So the positive would be, it's what drives us, right? I want to succeed in the future. I would like to have this type of thing. I want to be this type of job. I want to grow into this type of person. The thing that motivates you, right, is the future. It's pulling you forward. If you let it, if you take the positive path of the future, you're like, I want to be there. Therefore, I got to do these steps. Negative version of the future has to do with anxiety or stress or worry and just being consumed in that, right? Oh, I have this coming up, or I need to worry about that, or I'm not doing the right things as a person and I got to change that for this and this, or I want to have this career, so I got to focus all my time on this and this and this and this. And you'll just get consumed by what may or may not be in the future, right? Like it has the ability to steal from you. I think that's the negative part about both of these is if you let the negativity of either of those, past or future, grab hold of you, what they're doing is stealing your presence, right? And it's really easy to get stuck in that. It's so easy. You get stuck in those mindsets, right? We kind of talk about this often, but
Yeah, for a long time too.
yeah,
A long time. Like we're talking months, years.
indefinite.
Yeah.
Indefinite.
Indefinitely.
If you don't want to change what you're doing or you don't know how to, indefinite. So we've been talking about shoot, I forgot what I was going to say.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
They're stealing your present.
Yep.
And we've been talking about.
Don't remember it. If I think of it, I'll throw it back in. But yeah, those are thieves of your present, right? So presence. What is it? Why do we want it? It's the moment at which we are, right? And if I were to break this down, I have no stats to back this up. I have nothing. It's just my thinking rough off the cuff. What we often do is spend majority of our time in past or present, being consumed by what's going to happen in the future or being stressed by what's happened in the past. Often it's not the positive version of those two. But what we should be doing is spending the majority of our time in the present. I would say like an 80 to 20 split. 80% of your time should be focused on where you are right now. Like you're living it. You're going through it. You're existing in the presence. Like be aware of that. Be engaged in that, right? Because if you're not, what you're going to do is while you're living through your presence, you're not really there. You're like the ghost of the thing that should be there, right? You're just consumed by the other things and not able to find the joy or the knowledge or the purpose or whatever it is.
That is an awesome analogy, metaphor.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like you are the shadow of you. You're not really you. You're kind of like the shadow of you.
Yes. 100%, dude.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. So, why am I consumed about the present? I think because I came to the realization that I don't live my life in the present, or I had not previous to this. And it's kind of like a disturbing feeling to go, wow, I've spent how much of my life not being present, not being amongst the people I'm with, in the scenarios I'm at.
Not really living.
Yes.
I'm existing, I'm being,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not really living. My mind, like the saying, like, we don't have a soul. We are a soul. We have a body.
Yes.
Like where your mind is, like that's where you are. Like your body's one place, but if your mind's somewhere else, like your mind is really where you are.
Yes.
And like you want to align your body to kind of be where your mind wants it to be,
Mm-hmm.
so that way you can be there. And if it's like, well, I should do this, my friends are going and having dinner and having some drinks, and I'm going to see some old friends and some family
Mm-hmm.
members for the first time in a long time. And so that's where I need to be, like my body needs to be there. But the entire time you're thinking about like, oh, I wronged this person over here. Like I'm such a terrible person. I'm never going to recover from that.
Mm-hmm.
Or like this person wronged me. Or like, I'm just not, like you said, meeting my goals. Then you're not really living.
No.
You're living. It's like you're living vicariously through yourself.
Yes.
So you've transposed yourself to some other spot.
Time and place.
Yeah, but you're not really living. That's kind of scary.
I know, isn't
It's
it?
terrifying, actually. Yeah.
It is, though. It is. And it kind of should be, actually.
Yeah, sure.
Like, it's got to be something enough to jar you to want to actually be present. And I say this full well knowing that I'm not, even now. Like, I'm not perfectly present. We're never going to be perfect. That's a reality. But even now, I stress myself out all the time. So I'm a future-focused person. I know that of myself. I'm constantly going, what is the next thing? What is the next thing? What is the next thing? I really, really don't often dwell in the past, which we were talking about this the other day. It's kind of hard to make fun of me because I don't care about things. Like, yeah, great, okay, whatever. But that's mainly because I just am future focused. You want to make fun of something that happened? Great, go ahead. I'm not going to give you the reaction you want.
You need to insult your trajectory.
Yes, actually, that's true.
Oh, yeah,
that's true.
Ammunition.
Dude, that's a funny note, but that's accurate.
Okay.
Interesting. But yeah, I know of myself that I'm a future focused person, right? And we were talking about this right before we started this, and I had some realization that hit me a little bit harder today, of all days, that just made me, I guess, even more grateful for the concept of being aware of my presence, or being aware of trying to be present. So if you don't want to go, slight little rant, story, tangent. So I've been doing a job that I'm decent at. I get enough affirmation, tells me I'm good at it. But it does not fulfill my inner need for, you spend 40 hours a week there at minimum. You want to be able to enjoy it a little bit, right? Or at least, that's fine. You want to be able to enjoy it a little bit.
Whatever is the cause of your enjoyment differs, but you want to enjoy it.
Exactly. You don't want to not like what you're doing. And it's not that I dislike what I'm doing. But it is not, I know for a fact it was not what I was supposed to be doing. So what I've been doing for the last 6 months, and for all those of you who are not religious by any means, you can ignore what I'm going to say, but I'm just going to share my subjective version of what happened. Mm-hmm. So I was just praying about it because that's what I do. And I'm just focusing hey, what should I be doing? Right? What is the thing that I should be doing? I know I like to work with people. I don't know what that means. But I work as an engineer. What should I change about that? So I'm praying about this. I'm getting nothing. And that happens at times. I've had times where I pray about stuff and I get stuff. That's how it works for me sometimes. So I'm getting nothing and I'm is nothing an answer? Or is it just not happening? And I'm I should probably take nothing as an answer because that's often how it kind of works. Love your neighbors. Awesome people.
Dude.
Great mufflers.
Great people. Not great mufflers. Awesome cars, by the way. When I say I'm not being condescending or arrogant or sarcastic in any way. Very cool cars. We're talking 1960s Mustangs, Oh, yeah. But just
no muffler.
No muffler. No exhaust. So, yeah, okay.
So, I'm going through this cycle and I'm I'm not getting anything. Am I not doing the right things? And I'm questioning myself. When in reality, retrospect being 2020, or just looking back on it, I'm that nothing is my answer. Because what I need to be doing is being present, okay? And the way I know this is fruiting to actually what should happen is I was applying for a bunch of stuff that was more or less similar to what I'm doing because I just want to change, but it would be what I'm doing, which would not be useful, right? I know I don't like what I do, so why would I try what I do somewhere else, right? It's got to be an actual change to what it is that I do. So I apply, nothing hits, no returns. It's pretty shocking because, wow, it's just shocking to me because I assume I have a decent resume and experience and whatever, but nothing. And I'm strange. I'll let that be. So I just let it be. And then I kind of get a little bit of a wave of just be. Okay? I'm okay, I will just be. That's what I will do. I'll try my best to be present and just exist in what is and hope that that is going to fruit what is supposed to happen. So with that, I kind of got calmed down, and then maybe within that week that I had a little bit of a realization, a particular job opened up. And I was oh, that's cool. I didn't expect I would be going for that, but it was just something that happened at work. I was okay, this happened. I continue on with my day, and the manager comes up to me. He's hey, I want you to do this job. And I was okay. I had to think about it for a while. Contemplated it for a bit. And I was this is totally different than what I do now. This is working with people. This is entirely a change to the job that I'm doing. And I still get to work with people I enjoy. Still get to be at a place I enjoy. And it's like, I was just being present, just existing with what was. And I didn't get an answer when I was praying about it. Because I wasn't supposed to go anywhere. I was just supposed to be present in that time. Because the opportunity I was looking for and concerned about, that I'm consumed by my future. I need to do this. I need to change. I need to change. No, I need to be present. And the things will come as they need to be. For me in particular, some people might be different, right? You might need to do something. You might need to take a step back, whatever it is. But for me, just to sit and be present gave me the opportunity that I was stressing over. And once I let go of that stress, that worry, and just said, okay, I'll be present. I'll focus on that. I'm not going to worry about it. I'll worry about it in the time that it needs to be worried about. And boom, it just plopped in my lap. I didn't even apply. I didn't do anything. It was just, hey, I need you to do this. And I was like, that is what I need to do. Okay, I will take that. So that's just my example, most recent and acute example. There's plenty if you stop and look at it. Like, your life is full of these things. Things line up. Things don't always line up. They don't. It's not perfect. Nothing is. But, man, all the things that we worry about are so useless. They don't have zero value, but they have so little. They're just not needed. You don't need to be the ghost of the person you are. You just need to be the person that you are. And how can you do that if you're not actually present, right? Present in people's lives. Present in your own well-being and narrative and the story that you're living through. Like, don't be the shell of the man, right? Just be the man.
Yeah.
That's my takeaway anyways. It's not an easy one though, right?
No, it's not. It's not at all.
Do you find yourself a future-focused or a past-focused person?
Depends on the day. Probably more future-focused.
Okay.
Which is why I keep making the same mistakes, because I don't pay attention. I don't correct my actions from the past. Yeah. Yeah, I got a little bit, quick little one, and then a broader one. Quick little one is, when it comes to like focusing on the past, it's like the best saying I heard about that was, I got 99 problems and 95 of them I created in my own head. You know?
Yes.
But then, like, you were saying how, how by being present, it kind of allowed the opportunity to come to you.
Yeah.
And even if we're taking that thought and going to like a broader scale,
yes,
amongst all of us, even if being present isn't what provides you the opportunity, like I'm going to say that what provided you the opportunity was your character and your work ethic,
right?
And your standards,
right?
And that over the last 7 years of working there was what, once this position opened up, drew management to you and was like, hey, for the last 7 years, he's been this person.
Completely correct.
However, going in the vein of present, by you being present, you're not actively pursuing something that is going to get in the way of that opportunity. You're not hurting your chances by going and applying for a different company, and and just maybe in that last week, let's say your boss is like, man, I really want Sam, but this other person coming up is a close second. And in the last 2 weeks of them making that decision, you just
attitude, or
you start
whatever.
focusing on your future, something else. Like, this company isn't working for me, and like I love the company, but it's not working. And it's like, man, he's just not here. He's okay, and that little comment, you make a little comment to someone like, yeah, I've applied somewhere else, this and this, and then that goes up the grapevine. By the time it hits lunch hour, and your boss hears that and is like, oh, I don't think he's very committed to this. So just by you being present, you didn't get in the way.
Exactly. On top of that, being present, you can see the opportunities that are available. Like you can see when you need to jump or when you need to step back or when you need to move right, move left, right? Like if you are present and you're not consumed by that which is in front of you, you can see, oh, I gotta avoid that step. That step's gonna break my ankle. Or, oh no, I gotta move over here. Or this path is correct. I'm consumed over there, but I gotta keep doing this one.
I like writing little sayings down that help me. Actually, the whole reason this podcast came to be kind of fruited from a small root system of me wanting to write a book. And the book was just like little sayings. I love little sayings, like little like oh, that's so catchy. Like I love that. You know, like how old is that? I don't know. That they've probably been saying that sentence for 2,000 years, but it's a truism. It's so, you know, everyone can relate to it. And one that I came up with is mistakes happen at the end. And what I mean by that is like, so let's say, and here's my theory on it.
Yeah.
Let's say you're doing an activity at work, for example, that you've done quite literally 1,000 times. You know that once you get past the crux, once you get to the 80th percentile, you just know it's so good. It's like you can coast through the last 20%. Well, you really need to pay attention for the first 80%. But then once you get that hard part done, then it's like, okay, I got that hard part done. I'm no longer present. I got the 20%. I know I can do it. And so then you start focusing on something else. And like you said, you're not paying attention to that little pothole right in front of you. You're not in that moment. You know, and I've heard that people in the very beginning of starting a job and the few years before retiring, that's when the most mistakes happen. They're best like in the middle of their career.
Yeah.
And whether that's true or not, I don't know. I have not studied that.
Sure.
But basically going to your point, it's by being present, you're paying far closer attention. It's like a game of chess. It's like you're thinking about this move up here, but you're not paying attention, like why'd he move his bishop over there?
Yep.
I don't know, but I can't think about that right now. I got to focus on this. It's like, well, guess what, dude? He just lined his bishop up along a file that your queen's on. Guess what, dude? Like your queen's coming down to checkmate you, you know? And the only reason you didn't pay attention to it before because there was nothing supporting the queen, but guess what? That's what that bishop just did.
Yep.
And you're focused on your attack. You know? Yeah.
Dude, chess is a perfect allegory for that because it's like you could be focused on the attack version of that, which would be the future actions that you want to take, and then you're consumed by that. Whereas if you are just present and looking at the whole scenario, right? Like taking almost a step back from all the concerns to really just like, I pictured like that, some floating Buddha of just, I am here. I am here. Just looking at everything that can be. To be like, this is where I need to move.
Yeah.
This is what I need to do.
Can I?
Yeah.
We've got 7 minutes left.
Yes, sir.
I think it might be useful to cover some ideas of how to become more present. Like,
oh, that's a good question.
You know, like, so yeah, okay, so yeah, it's kind of a truism. Yeah, be present, be present. Be
right, but what does that actually mean?
Yeah, how?
Oh, I love that question. Mainly because I haven't thought about that.
Okay.
For me, so all I can give is subjective info, right? Like I have no tangible research I can give.
Same.
Right.
Same.
Right. So for me, as stated, I like to pray. It helps me focus. For those who don't, meditate. Do something that will take you out of everything else.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So for me, that's focusing on the higher being, just stopping and saying, God, thank you, whatever. And then just focusing on that. I literally wake up in the morning and I stopped doing this for a little bit and then I start doing it and I can be present. Oh, this is really good. No, this is really, really good. So I stopped doing it for a while and I was all stressed and worried and consumed by other things and doing my stuff. But for the last 3-4 weeks, wake up in the morning, make my bed, sit right back down on my bed and verbally sit and pray out loud. I don't like doing it every morning. I'm not always totally there, but I stop and I do that. And that's how I start my day. I don't start with, oh, the dog wants food. Okay, I got to make some breakfast. What am I doing for lunch? Okay, I got to go. Like, I don't, when I do those days pull me any direction at all. So for me, waking up in the morning, taking time to meditate and just focus, and for me, pray. But just time to be starting off present in your exact circumstance.
Yep.
If that's for you in the middle of the day, so be it, whatever.
Yep.
Take time to literally be present.
Yep. Don't get distracted. And then the nice thing about the morning is that you're not really, it's like the least distracted you'll be all day.
Yeah.
Because you don't have anything lingering. Like, you'll have things lingering from the past week and last night. You know? But when you wake up in the morning,
it's your new day.
It's like the most mentally free you will be.
Correct.
Yep.
And I think the other thing, this is the most tangible advice I can give. Don't grab your phone.
Yeah. Yep.
Literally. Don't grab your freaking phone.
Literally spend like the first hour of your day not by your phone. Like,
I don't even know when the first moment. I don't have a ritualistic moment where I grab my phone first thing. Like, I turn my alarm off and then I grab it to leave the house and I plug it in to listen to something on the way to work. But like, open it up to look at it, no idea when that happens.
Okay.
And like, I think most people understand they shouldn't do that. Yet, how many people like literally just do that?
Yeah. I mean, look at it this way. You wake up, you're like, oh, I'm alive. Like, okay, that's cool. You know, oh, like whatever dream state I was just in, like, okay, here, I'm back. And like, look at these two courses. One is like, okay, I'm back. What did people say about my picture last night? Like, oh, I didn't really like the mindset that I was in last night when I took it. But,
yes.
But they don't know that, but it's okay. But it got me 15 likes. That's cool. Okay, yeah. Oh, what, this person, are they hitting on me? They're kind of creepy. I don't want to look at this and like, oh, is that, do I have to do that? Oh, could I get, oh, that's kind of cool. How would I look to people if I wore that? But I don't want to spend $15. Well, now your mind's like, I don't like my mindset. This person's weird, creepy. Do I want to impress other people? I don't want to spend the money. That's your mind right now.
You are everything but present.
Yes. Or think about this. You wake up. Oh, here I am. I'm alive. Okay. The first thought that goes through your head, thank you.
Yes.
God, universe, whatever higher power there is, which there obviously is something bigger out there than me, whether that be just the cosmos rolling or a God creating. Yep. It doesn't matter. You're not going to beat it. Like, you can't beat God.
You aren't better than that.
Yeah. So it's like, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Maybe go through a list of 20, 30 affirmations. Like,
yep.
I am strong, I'm smart, I'm calm, I'm at peace, blah, 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 blah. You get up, you make your bed, drink some water, this and this. Maybe like a nice little workout, stretch, whatever you got to do, you know, take a shower, you know, turn some peaceful music. You know, maybe actually sit down and meditate for 30 minutes or sit there and have a good prayer or do something, you know, like, you know, what is it? Or what habit? Like, oh, I got 20 minutes. I can nice and just sit here and cook these eggs and prepare it. And, you know, that's a beautiful bird. Different music. That'd be nice. Or like, and that morning, you're in that morning and you're not pulled here and pulled there. And
I think 2 quick notes. One, for everybody who's like listening and going, yeah, that's a great idea. Don't just great idea that shit. Like,
try it.
Literally try it. And
one thing.
Don't do it just once. Like, commit yourself to like 7 days. Yeah. Something.
Yeah.
Like, muscle through it and do it.
Yeah.
And like, tell me it doesn't do like, something good by the end of the week.
Literally, like, for the first 7 days, if you're used to grabbing your phone already, wait half an hour. Yes. Don't grab it for half an hour. Yep. Second week, don't grab your phone for half an hour. Say thank you, and then get out of bed.
Yes.
Third, you know, and then
step it up. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, but literally try it. Don't just sit there and go,
yeah,
that's a great idea. Like, actually do it. Second point, you can do this exact same thing at night as well. So do the exact same thing at night. Wake up in the morning, do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
That will change your entire outlook on life. No joke.
I have a rule that I break almost every night, which is no phone an hour before I go to bed.
I know, I do. I stare at my phone as I'm going to sleep.
I know, it's so bad. But then, like, think about that. Like, as opposed to like relaxing before sleep, it's like you're getting pulled here, and then your body's like, screw you.
Yep.
I'm gonna try to rest now.
Yeah. like, dude, I know it's stupid things that we do, but but those are tangible ways to physically be present.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
Dude. That was good.
All right.